back on Ek Bun Soch Ki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Mr. Tarundeep Singh Anand, a visionary leadership in the global education and the managing director of Universal Business School in Karjat. It's a very interesting insight to what we are having and what kind of a conversation what we are having. So once again back to this episode. It's an interesting journey what we have seen right from HSBC till the global exposure and starting and a unique business school which is there now. In fact, what is your philosophy as far as the leadership is concerned, and how you describe the leadership?
So I think there are multiple ways to become a leader, and there are multiple thoughts on this subject. I would say what works for me, right? And I'm not saying this is exclusive. Everybody is free to find their own path. But what worked for me is what I call servant leadership. And what I mean by that is, ensuring that you're not authoritarian. That world is gone. That bus has left the station where you say, I want you to do this and get it done. No, you need to create the purpose, the vision, and get the team to roll it up and actually build that mission together. And then it becomes their purpose, it becomes their mission, it becomes their goal, their dream. If you can translate your dream and get the seeds of that dream into everyone, because as you say, you put in one seed in the ground and you get 100 mangoes. That's the concept. So you start by doing that. That's where I think great leaders operate from. The second layer to that is then be the support system, not the boss. In fact, I tell my team consistently, you need to do upward management only 1%. 99% of your time should be spent on the market or the customer, whatever that is, and on your colleagues, because many times you're playing multiple roles. Having worked in a matrix organization all my life, I've always had two bosses, and that's fine. And it didn't matter. For strategy, I need to go to the CEO. For sales, I needed to go, or business development, I had to need to report to the president. And it was normal, right? So you keep wearing different hats, like we do in our lives. We wear different hats. Sometimes you're a father, sometimes you're a son, sometimes you're a brother. You've got to keep changing. You can't say, I am the boss and therefore I know that I needs to go. It's we. And I feel that create the strategy, create a direction, let the team develop it, and then it becomes their dream. The day it becomes their dream, you've achieved your purpose. And then you clear the way. Then you become one who's like in front, leading from the front. So always walk the talk and clear the way for others to run faster, right? That's what wherever it's stuck, let's open. So that's the way I would like to put it.
Oh, that's what really, if you are passionate about and sports, it teaches you a lot, like how you can work in a team and give an opportunity for every one of them to contribute equally towards an vision and the mission of an organization. More rightly, I think where Mr. Tarundeep Singh Anand had mentioned about his servant leadership, that's what which really worked. And every leaders have got their own style of an functioning which is there, but I think if you create a way for the others to come forward, that's what the servant leadership is all about. So we have seen excellent your global exposure and also your own initiative of an global education also, but was there any time when you felt that you wanted to give up?
Yeah, when I set up this company, this $90 million company, we were doing phenomenally. We were doing 5 yards of trading a day, which is $5 billion of trading on our platform a day, which is incredible. And then the financial crisis in 2008 hit us very hard. And our biggest customers were Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, AIG. All of these guys don't exist today. AIG does, but the others don't. And in that world, we were the board. In fact, we recommended to the board from $5 billion, we started trading $150 million a day, which is unsustainable for our global enterprise. We had offices in so many cities. So we told the board we need to shut down. and that was a tough moment because I had to fly literally every week or every few days I was in Tokyo, I was in Singapore and Sydney, across Asia Pacific. Just go there, fire all the staff, close down the offices. So that was a tough thing, and we essentially lost $90 million, right? Okay. We raised it, but we lost it. Financial crisis, right? So that's the point. I actually quit, and I said, now this gives me that freedom. I can go and set up my business school. When I did that, my boss, my super boss, the Tom Glosser, the global CEO of Reuters, he said, Taryn, come and work for me. I've just lost $90 million for this guy. Come back to London. I am like, no, Tom, I'm done with London. Okay, New York? I said, no, I'm done with New York. Where do you want to go? I'm like, India. But you've managed a global portfolio and all. So he let me go, and he's like, but I'm thinking I made a loss, and he's whispering to the guy, this guy's an investment, and I'm wondering, finance itna to sikha hai ki loss is on one side of the balance sheet and investment is on the other side. Yeah. How is he calling my loss to investment? Tab mere dimag mein nahi. He chased me for 6 months. He got his Asia Pacific CEO to come down, have lunch with me at the ITC Grand Maratha, and he said, you want to be in India, you become CEO of India, Chairman and Managing Director of India. I'm like, ye log chhodte hi nahi hai, kyun? And he said, you're an investment. And I asked him why. He said, because you have put in $90 million of learning inside you. It's not a loss, that's $90 million of learning. Yeah. We can't let it go. Correct. And I was chairman and I made $300 million for them over 3 years. Yeah. So I didn't then know it. Correct. Now I know that a loss is actually an investment.
It's an investment,
right? And
a lot of experience which goes in life.
That experience is worth gold. And you've learned how to build an organization from scratch. You've seen it go down because of things which are out of your control. That is a valuable learning. So every loss is a huge learning, and that's why I always tell my students that take risks, and they say, what if we? Why don't people take risks? Because they fear failure, right? And so I retort to them: you risk, you fail, you learn. Yeah. If you don't take risks, you have zero failure, zero learning. In this hyper-competitive VUCA world we are entering into, if you don't have learning and you can accelerate your learning, you're not going to go far. So take more risks. Now, beauty of taking risks is beautiful, right? You take a risk, it pays off, rocking. The returns are phenomenal. You take a risk, it goes bad, you've got learning. So it's a win-win. Yet people don't take risks. People are like always, no, what if? And that is where I would say, I would encourage, you go to a gym to build your muscles, right? Pumping iron. I say go and build your risk muscle, because the world is going to throw up phenomenal opportunities, and those who are willing to take risks are going to get the payoffs are going to be exponential.
Correct. ऐसा कहते हैं जहाँ पे risk है तो इश्क है, like, and I'm sure like if you can take a risk, there's a lot of learning, lot of an experience what you get by taking a risk. It doesn't matter like how, like if you're in a boxing ring, like it doesn't matter like how hard punch you give, but how hard punch you take, fell down and again you get up and be part of the sport. That's what learning is all about. So failure is a part of and giving an experience to go to the next level. It's an excellent insight, and the conversation what we are having exclusively on Tea Talk Ek Bund Soch Ke with Mr. Tarundeep Singh Anand, Managing Director of Universal Business School, Karjat. That's the reason we are saying a visionary leadership in the global education space. He's based at the corporate level and into the academia, making a unique institute. That's great. I think be in touch with Tea Talk Ek Bund Soch Ke and catch up with Mr. Tarundeep Singh Anand in our next episode. Till then, thank you very much. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.